This is Keith Helwig from Cops Corrections Videos. If you like my videos, please hit the subscribe button. Today I'd like to talk about emotions that can affect us as correctional officers, as police officers, as probation and parole officers, as welfare workers, social workers, etc. And that is compassion, sympathy, and empathy. Now they all basically mean the same, and we should all have some of that at our core. However, there are times in different situations where compassion is a great thing. Compassion is a tendency to understand a person's problems and want to help them. And I think that's why a lot of people went into law enforcement, because they are compassionate people, believe it or not. You know, everything you see in the media today points to just the opposite, but we all know how factual the media really is. So as a police officer, you should be compassionate. When somebody has a problem, you should be compassionate. You should be able to feel somewhat of what they're feeling and help them to find a solution. That's part of being a cop. That's part of being a correctional officer, a social worker, probation parole officer. Empathy, on the other hand, you know, I know I've got a couple members of my family that are severely empathetic individuals, and that doesn't mean that they're wrong. It just means that when they get into a situation, they not only sympathize with the person, but they take on the emotions of that person as well. They take on the hurt of that person. They take it personally when something is happening to somebody else that perhaps they don't need to take personally. And that's where sympathy comes in. Sympathy is being able to feel bad for a person, or feel down for a person, but realizing that is that person's problem. You have sympathy for them. You know, for example, when somebody dies, I have sympathy for their family, and I have compassion for their family, and I understand what their family is going through, but I really can't put myself in that position. You know, if you deal with somebody who's, say, a rape victim, and you tell them, I know what you're going through, and you try to be empathetic about it, you don't know what they're going through. Maybe you know people who've gone through similar situations, but you don't know what they're going through. So as a correctional officer, as a police officer, anywhere in law enforcement, anywhere dealing in the public, you need to have sympathy for people. You need to have empathy for people. You need to have compassion for people. But you need to regulate that sympathy, compassion, and you need to be able to regulate that empathy so that it goes to a positive. If you're an extremely empathetic officer, you might really be good in some situations, but I'll tell you what, you're going to be carrying everything home with you all the time. You're going to be taking everything home with you all the time. And that's where it comes in, where you're going to have to find somebody who's compassionate, that you can tell about your problems, that you can share your problems with. So as an officer, you do need to have compassion, you do need to have sympathy, you do need to have empathy. Just know the differences between them and know when it's proper to use each emotion. Each emotion is normal. Don't be afraid when you have feelings of sympathy towards someone, and you should have feelings of compassion towards someone. This is Keith Heller from Cops Corrections Videos. Until next time, stay safe and watch your back.